Hey, how's it going, guys? In this tutorial, I'll show you how to use Azure's API to delete a folder using Python. So unfortunately, using Azure's UI, we cannot directly delete a folder. So for example, now let's say I want to delete this folder, calibrate with others folder. Now if I check the checkbox, now noticing that here, the delete option is disabled. And to delete the folder, we need to actually delete every single file individually. But fortunately, using Azure Storage API, we can quickly delete a folder in an instant. Now open a blank Python script, and I'll name the script demo.py. Now for the import statement, let me maximize the window. I'm going to import the OS module, and from azure.storage.blob, I'm going to import this blob service client class. And you can install the Python packages by using the command pip install Azure Storage Blob and Azure Identity. So these are the two libraries that we'll need to install to work with Azure Storage API. Now to connect to my address account in Python. Now let me duplicate this tab. Okay. Now from the home page, we want to go to, actually I need to go back to the storage homepage. Right, so I want to go to storage accounts homepage. Then click into your account. Now from the accounts homepage, want to scroll down to access keys. Now here want to show the connection string and copy the string and create a variable in your Python script. And I'll name the variable storage connection string. And I'll paste the connection string. Now I can connect to my Azure Storage account using the blob service client class from connection string. And I'll pass the connection string. And for the object, I'll name the object blob service client. So basically, the blob service client is going to be the linkage between Python and your Azure Storage account. Now, let's say I want to delete one of the subfolders. Right, so my root folder is going to be dbt under my dbt containers storage account. Now, from the root folder, which is going to be dbt, now let's say I want to delete this folder right here, collaborate with others. So I want to delete this folder as well as the subfolders. Now going back to Python. So here I'll create a function and I'll name the function delete blob folder. And this function will have a parameter. Let's name the parameter blob directory. So basically we can pass the folder location from our address container. And we'll pass the location path to this function and delete the folders and files. Right, so the output is going to return none. Now here I'm going to insert try except block. Now for the exception, I'm simply going to print the error message. Now inside the try block, I want to list all the files based on this blob directory argument. Alright, so here I forgot one more step. Now let me move these two lines to here. Now I want to create a reference object to link to my container. Alright, so here I need to create a variable. I'll name the variable container ID, and it's going to be the container's name. Now I want to create a container client. So from the blob service client object, I can use the get container client method to reference to the dbt container. So here I'll pass the container ID. Now name the object as container client. Now going back to the function. Now from the container client object, I want to list all the files using the list blobs method. Now to display the folders and the files, giving the blob directory argument. So we can use this name starts with parameter. So what this parameter does is it's going to look at the directory path that is provided. Then it's going to attempt to locate the folder based on the blob directory argument. Alright, so here we're going to assign the argument to the parameter value, and I'll name the outputs blobs. So there are two approaches that we can take to delete a folder. Now, for approach number one, which is going to be delete file individually. And with this approach, you have a lot more controls on how you want to delete every single file. So this is going to be approach number one. Now we can insert a loop to iterate each blob object. So I can say for blob in blobs. Now for demonstration purpose, I'm going to print the name first. And I'll go ahead and create a function. Alright, so let me go ahead and create these two objects. Now if I go ahead and run the delete blob folder function, and here I'll create a variable. I'll name this as target Azure directory. And the directory that I want to delete, or the folder I want to delete, is going to be this one right here. And the folder path is going to be collaborate with others. So I'm going to copy this portion right here. And I'll assign the path to this target Azure directory variable. And make sure that you delete the extra spaces. Alright, so if I go ahead and run these two lines. So here I have a typo in my function. And this will be list blobs. Alright, so let me try again. Now this time, I have a list of directory path based on this target Azure directory that I provided. And once we have every single location of each file, we can delete each blob object using container client .delete blob method. And I'll provide the blob location. And here I want to print message blob. And it's going to be the file path is deleted. Actually, to be deleted. Alright, so let me recreate the function. Now this time, if I go ahead and run these two lines, so it's going to delete this collaborate with others folder. Alright, so let me go up one more level. Now if we look at this view right here, noticing that the folder is now deleted. Now the second approach is here. Let me come out this loop. Now the second approach is to delete all the files altogether. So this is going to be delete all files in a single operation. Now again, we need to reference the container client object. Now this time we're going to use the delete blobs method. So noticing that this function is plural and this function is singular. So that's the main difference. Inside the method, I will unpack the blobs object. And for the message, I can say storage directory deleted format. And I'll supply the blob directory path. Right, so let's try a different folder this time. Let's use this one, build dbt project. Now let me recreate the function. Right, so I'll go ahead and delete the folder in a single operation. Now instead of deleting each file individually, this time we're deleting every single file in a single batch. Alright, so this is going to be everything I'm going to cover in this video, and hopefully you guys find this video useful. And don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.